In the turbulent tides of warfare, where empires rose and fell, there emerged a figure casting a long shadow across the battlefields of Europe, Napoleon Bonaparte. His name became synonymous with strategic genius, but the secret weapon that fueled his conquests is a tale less told. What if I told you, beneath the clash of artillery and the march of infantrymen, there was a revolutionary blueprint at work, the Ingenious Corps System. It was Napoleon's unsung game-changer, turning the tables of warfare, outfoxing foes, and sculpting the very art of battle. Welcome to a time when warfare was undergoing one of its most dramatic shifts. You're about to dive deep into the very heart of Napoleon's military genius, a system so groundbreaking that it forever transformed the art of war. This is the tale of Napoleon's Corps System. To truly grasp the genius behind this system, let's go back to a time when armies were huge, slow-moving giants, trudging heavily across Europe's fields. Picture trying to get a message across to thousands of noisy, bustling men. It was chaos. Now, imagine Napoleon stepping into this scene. He was a clever guy with a knack for seeing the grand scheme of things. He noticed all the problems with how armies worked back then and thought up a new approach. He wanted to be able to move his forces strategically, as a chess player planning moves ahead of the game. The story begins even before the dawn of the Corps System. The stage was being set by the revolutionary French armies, experimenting with a new organizational structure, the divisional system. Here, the army was divided into smaller, more manageable units called divisions. The idea was to create a more flexible and responsive military structure, and it was a step in the right direction. But it was like the first flicker of light, a precursor to the blinding brilliance that was to come. These divisions had a level of independence but were not as self-sufficient or autonomous as Napoleon would have wished. They were like the first sketches of an artist, hinting at the masterpiece that was yet to be unveiled. Napoleon took the foundational idea of divisions and magnified it, refined it, and perfected it. Each corps was not just a division, it was a self-sufficient mini-army, complete with infantry, cavalry, artillery, and supporting units. It was a military ecosystem, able to sustain itself, adapt to the ever-changing dynamics of the battlefield, and act with a degree of independence that was unheard of at the time. Imagine the transformation, from a lumbering giant to a swift, agile leopard, ready to pounce, ready to adapt, ready to conquer. The corps could move independently, strike from multiple directions, and then converge with overwhelming force. This was not just an evolution, it was a revolution. It was the birth of a new era, where maneuverability, autonomy, and speed became the pillars of military success. Amidst the decentralization and the autonomy granted to each corps, there existed a crucial, binding thread that held the entire tapestry together, the unity of command. Napoleon, the mastermind behind this intricate design, played the role of the weaver, meticulously intertwining each strand to create a cohesive, unified whole. His marshals and generals, entrusted with significant responsibilities, acted as the carriers of his vision. Each one of them, with their distinct corps, operated in their unique realms, yet they were all part of a larger, harmonious ensemble. They had the freedom to maneuver, to adapt, to make decisions, but all under the overarching strategy and objectives set forth by Napoleon. The unity of command ensured that, while each corps could act independently, they moved in harmony, like musicians in an orchestra, each playing a different instrument but all contributing to a single, symphonic masterpiece. The corps, though worlds in themselves, were integral components of a grander scheme, each piece moving in tandem, acting in unison, contributing to the success of the collective. It was this unity of command that allowed for swift communication and coordinated movements, that enabled the execution of complex strategies and facilitated rapid responses to ever-changing battlefield dynamics. Venturing further into the mastery of this system, we find Napoleon's army evolving into a living, breathing organism. Composed of smaller, self-sufficient units, it could move with a swiftness and precision that were previously unattainable. It was not just an army, it was a fluid entity, capable of rapid movements, swift changes in direction, and converging with an impact that could shake the very foundations of the enemy's defenses. Each corps could operate independently, adapt to various situations, and make decisive actions on the fly. The autonomy of the corps was a game changer. It meant that decisions could be made on the ground, in real time, without waiting for orders to trickle down from the high command. The corps system introduced a level of fluidity and flexibility previously unseen on the battlefields of Europe. Each corps, acting as an independent entity yet synchronized within a larger framework, could respond promptly to the unfolding dynamics of war. They could navigate the terrain, exploit the enemy's weaknesses, and adapt to shifting circumstances, all while maintaining a sense of unity and purpose under Napoleon's overarching command. This new approach to warfare allowed Napoleon to exploit the element of surprise, to choose his battles, and to dictate the terms of engagement. The enemy was constantly on the back foot, reacting to Napoleon's moves rather than making their own. The battlefield became a canvas, and Napoleon, with his corps as brushes, painted a masterpiece of strategic depth and tactical brilliance. Furthermore, the ability of the corps to operate independently yet cohesively meant that they could sustain themselves logistically, reducing the burden on supply lines and enabling prolonged campaigns in enemy territories. This logistical self-sufficiency was a force multiplier, enhancing the army's operational reach and endurance. The battlefield, under the influence of the corps system, was no longer a static entity, defined by rigid lines and predetermined movements. Instead, it metamorphosed into a living, breathing canvas of endless possibilities and unforeseen opportunities. Every hill, every valley, and every river became a potential ally in the hands of Napoleon, as he exploited the terrain and the environment to maximize his strategic advantages. With the corps system, Napoleon could conduct simultaneous operations on multiple fronts, stretching enemy forces thin, and creating dilemmas that paralyzed the opposing commanders. The enemy was forced into a perpetual state of uncertainty and imbalance, unable to predict where the next blow would come from. The strategic depth and the multifaceted nature of the corps system made it a formidable tool in the hands of a master strategist like Napoleon. This revolutionary approach transformed warfare from a game of brute force to a sophisticated dance of intellect, strategy, and adaptability. The corps system was the brush with which Napoleon painted his strategies, turning battlefields into landscapes of innovation and showcasing the art of war in its most refined form. The reverberations of Napoleon's corps system continue to resonate in the corridors of military strategy and thought. It marked a pivotal moment, a seminal turning point that has shaped the philosophies of countless military thinkers and strategists through the years. From the battlegrounds of the American Civil War to the expansive theaters of the World Wars, the core principles of decentralization, adaptability, and unity of command have undergone adaptation, modification, and refinement. The shadow of Napoleon's innovation stretches far and wide, his inventive spirit kindling the flames of strategic thought across different eras. The corps system is not merely a passage in a history textbook, it stands as a revelation, offering a window into the mind of a strategic maestro, and showcasing the revolutionary impact of forward thinking and innovation. What are your thoughts on Napoleon's ingenious corps system? Do you think it was the key to his military successes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this historical roller coaster, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting adventures through time. Until next time, keep the wheels of time turning.